Hello and welcome to Rocket Recap for Week 2. Along for the ride, I also have Jesus Christ. Say hello.
Hello there.
Not many matches to go through this week, but plenty of news and gossip to cover that up. But while still on topic, we would like to remind all the teams to schedule all the leftover matches from the first few weeks. Any backlog is going to be very painful to catch up to the further we go along the season.
So, right off the bat, let's start with a little news update from Yapsino. What do you have for us this week, Yap?
Hello everyone, it's now o'clock and this is Rocket News. Speaking to you is Yapsenyo from Noah Gertz, bringing you all the tasty informations you are craving for. Cup play. At the moment, the league is discussing the establishment of a big Rocket Sunday Super Cup that is played all across the tiers and skill levels for all participants of Rocket Sundays. In hashtag votes, the majority of the players show that they would favor a double elimination bracket system, which is established as a popular standard of esport. As the recent discussions continue, it is likely that we get a Spring Rumble mutator, which means that it is basically Rumble, but only with boots and gloves. Standardized times. Through the last vote, the league will officially standardize all times of the UK local time zone. The players agreed that it makes the most sense to pick this time zone in particular, since the majority of all players are from the UK. This should solve the confusion that was brought by using different time zones. Wisdom of the Guru. Rocket Sundays is getting bigger and bigger. More teams, a real tier system, and finally experts who try to predict the matches in Rocket Sundays. The ever famous Herbie from AZA is our new guru who tries his luck in predicting the outcomes of all matches in the league play. This brings more excitement and a sprinkle of professionalism to the league. Thank you, Herbie, for dedicating to this. Carried FC drops out. In other news, Carried FC has decided to drop out of the league, citing waning interest in the game as of late. They were placed in the challenger tiers, so they will be one fewer team vying for that title in this season. They have stated they will finish the ongoing Season 2 Finals tournament, but will cease playing in Season 3 league play. Aaron has taken remedying actions and fixtures have been fixed accordingly. That was everything this week. I hope you enjoyed my informations. My name is Yapsenyo and this was Rocket News.
And just to expand a little on the wizardry, you can find all predictions and Herbie's thoughts on our Discord on channel RS Predictions. We will be sure to try and gather the predictions and display them along with match results in the coming episodes.
This week, we will also be introducing player interviews after the casted matches. This will not unfortunately cover the streamed matches yet. Additionally, we also unveiled a new premium casting slot. It will be 1 hour slot each Monday at 19 UK time. Streaming and casting are virtually guaranteed, and you will get to work as the opener for that week's Rocket Recap. Be sure to let Jesus know if you are interested in playing at that time.
Before we get to the matches, we have a guest on the show. Clay is having a little chat with Briggs from Carbon. He is also a long-time player in the league and a revered veteran. Clay, take it away.
Alright. Hello, Cam. I obviously know who you are, but for the viewers, can you give us a quick intro of yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Cameron Briggs, otherwise known as Cam. My guess name on Steam or whatever it would be is C6 Briggs. I am currently sitting between Champ 1 and Champ 2, depending on how I'm feeling, which is probably more likely Champ 1. and I've probably played for, I don't know, a few years, on and off really. Certainly recently this has been the most frequent I've been on the game without taking a big break, like 6 months away or whatever like that. But yeah, so I run a company on the side, and I'm also head of sales for a local company here. So
you're a big name.
I'm a big name to myself. That's about it.
So you went with us for season 1, but in between season 1 and season 2, I think we picked you up. How did you meet
You
your
certainly
teammate
did.
for this, and what made you want to join in the first place?
So I actually met Matt play solo queuing on threes. I think I was chilling away from twos, and there was a guy called Matt and a guy called Baz who were partied up, and we all just clicked. Basically, we did really well. They invited me, and we literally did an all-nighter that night. We were in voice chat until probably 6 a.m.
That's cute.
I know, it was hella cute. The best thing is, though, is we pretty much lost every single game we played since I joined. So that first game we played with some chemistry was an utter fluke. But after that point, the three of us, we would do, I don't know, US East drop shot until the early hours of the morning because we're so tired. We didn't want to do anything sweaty, and it was just chilled, So then, yeah, then Baz didn't play it as much, and I was playing with Matt a fair bit. This is when I was on PS4. And I just said, listen to this, son. There's a league. I've seen it on Reddit. Do you fancy getting involved? Because we got involved in an NA league, but it was more like Champ 3 Grand Champ and terrible. Yeah, 100 ping, just ridiculous input lag. And we just thought, you know what, this is probably a bit savage. And then obviously join Rocket Sundays, and it's been a blast.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear. And I mean, you quickly became very helpful. Like for season 3, going from the size of season 2 to season 3, that was, I'll be honest, mostly down to you. What did you do to be able to increase the league size, and how would you sort of say to anyone that might be going from season 3 to season 4 wanting to recruit, what would you say they should do?
I mean, I think I just replicated the reasons why myself and Matt wanted to join the league. It wasn't anything particularly sweaty. Just wanted a nice little community. Obviously, streamed and casted is a huge kind of USP on that front.
Yeah.
So, I would just say play on exactly what made whoever's going to be looking after recruitment as well. Play on what made you join the league in the first place, because I think the adverts I put out was something like it's free. Sometimes games are streamed and casted. It's a good bunch of guys. Who fancies getting involved? There wasn't much to it, and it had a really decent take up. I mean, I posted in a few Facebook groups and got a few messages from admins saying this goes against our terms and all this sort of stuff. So I just said, remove it then. I'm not particularly fussed.
They don't deserve us.
Exactly. I'll just keep the Facebook group with 20 followers on there, so I'm not interested. So we did a lot on Reddit and a lot on Facebook as well, and then naturally the attraction for that is obviously people that will be checking socials for stuff like that, different mechanics, new metas and all that sort of stuff. So there was quite a high kind of champ to GC kind of attraction. But we're doing well. We've got a few teams sort of silver, gold, platinum, all that sort of stuff that are hopefully enjoying themselves as well.
Yeah.
But definitely the format on season 3 is definitely a good shout, because it would be, well, first it'd be messy, but secondly, I know for a fact that myself and Matt would get clapped by multiple teams that have joined. So it's good to keep them competitive.
Yeah, Elite Tier is pretty nutty.
So, yeah.
If we go back to your sort of involvement in season 2 in terms of your playing pre-season, I'd say you were the team to beat. Everyone was sort of crapping themselves about the placement sort of coming against you. I'd say a very unfortunate loss against us, against Devil's Army, and sort of I think as one of them you came in second place in league play and then fourth place in the whole finals tournament. Do you think anything needs to change this season to either improve on that, or what do you think needs to change to be able to push for them top places?
I think it's just time played. Back at this point, I had a bit more time on my hands in the evening. Yeah. So the company I work US Eastern hours, plus or minus a couple. So I work 12 till 9 local time here in the UK.
Yeah.
So there's a limited amount of time where I can play it now, and it's mostly weekends really, which is where I'll be getting most involved. So, and I can't speak for Matt as well, but I think Matt's been enjoying a few other games as well, GTA, Apex, and all that sort of stuff. So I think both of us have just kind of branched away from it slightly, and that's probably meant we've lost a little bit of focus, but
not been grinding.
No, exactly. I mean, I've been enjoying the game more really, because I was getting really sweaty beforehand. I was hella nervous before games. I was, pissed off when I would whiff something a few times. But now I'm just going to, I'm like, I'm not juicy. I don't play it that much, and I end up playing better. So
Yeah, it's good. It's a good
It's
mindset
not-
to have.
yeah, it's just a bit more chilled. I mean, I can't speak for Matt as well. I mean, I think he probably still gets angry if he whiffs it a few times. But I know for myself, it's nice just to stay chilled. Like if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. But it's good to have semi-competitive games lined up. So
Yeah,
I do
definitely.
enjoy it. But yeah, and certainly the latter part of the season, yeah, we both kind of broke away from grinding it, and obviously that's probably showed in the fixtures. But it's all right. I'll see how far I can carry him this season.
Yeah, I was going to say, going into this season, what have you got any goals, any teams you want to beat, sort of that sort of thing? Have you got anything lined up that you want to do?
I mean, we're going to take you down, son, after that reverse sweep for a start. After that reverse sweep, utterly embarrassing. And then, yeah, obviously Ligma just did us in the finals as well after it was a 3-2 game last time. Always great to play those guys, and it's really close. So
Yeah, they turned up hard against you guys.
you know what? So if you look at the score lines on those, if you look at the amount of shots we had in every single game, I'm fairly sure it went about 8, 9, 10, 10, 8, or something like that.
Yeah.
They put in some defensive work. Like they did not choke in net. So yeah, I think maybe for us probably a little bit better accuracy or playing a little bit faster. But I think we've always tended to play relatively fast, and we try and pass as much as we can. But they were just solid at the back.
Yeah.
You can't really complain about that.
So if we're looking at teams in the Challenger tier, and
Yep.
being as sort of unmodest as possible, who do you reckon will be in the top 4 and in what order?
That's a good question. So I'm going to put Team Rocket up there.
Definitely agree with that.
Hilo's a beast. If you listen, Hilo, good job.
Yeah.
Stop rinsing us every time we play.
Be nice. Just miss a few open nets for us. Keep the scoreline single digit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just de-rank yourself a little bit. But obviously, a lot of the teams we actually haven't had the chance to play. I think we didn't manage to do all of our preseason games. So I would say it's probably going to be Team Rocket. I'm then going to put Savil's Army up there in second place.
Oh, that's a bold statement.
I'm doing it. We know firsthand what you guys can do. And then I'm probably going to go for either Carbon or Carried.
Carried dropped out.
Oh, fully dropped out now.
Yeah. They're finishing off season 2, but they're not in season 3 now.
Damn. Well then,
Well,
we can never beat him anyway, so that's fine. Well, we'll take third then, and then I'm gonna put Ligma down below us on fourth because we got some revenge to make up.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. We didn't have the best start, but I guess we went straight in against Rocket.
Yeah, it's always going to be a rough one.
We're pretty rusty, and I think we kept it relatively close in the first couple of games, but after that it was just the composure of Hilo, and he just popped off.
Yeah, no, it's gonna I'm not looking forward to that matchup for Savile.
It's a great job, and obviously Jesus Christ does really well as well as a support for Hilo. So they're definitely a solid team. So it'd be nice to beat them.
Looking forward to promotion tournaments and seeing if they can push up, see if they can get above it.
I reckon they will. Yeah, I reckon they will. Definitely. But yeah, I would say it's probably going to be Team Rocket. Then it's going to be Savil's Army. And then we're going to go Carbon and Ligma.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call the top 4 until we've played you guys and we've played Ligma. Then obviously, the other new teams might also be nutty, but obviously if we've not played them, we can't really comment. So no offense to the Challenger tier teams, we just don't.
No, not at all. No, I mean, as I said, like we haven't had a chance. I think we played Expect Diarrhea in a pre-season game.
Yeah.
I haven't been paying too much attention, to the streams and stuff, just because of the hours that I work, and the games tend to be kind of before 9:30 really, which is when I get home. So yeah, I'll definitely be doing a bit of research when we have the upcoming games. And I've got my eye on you, son. I know what you like in net. So Matt and I are gonna have to get nice and accurate. But yeah, I'd say that's probably how I'm looking for that one. But I honestly couldn't call it. That'd just be a stab in the dark.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting to see how it all pans out. So if not everyone on here will know you do some streaming. Do you want to give yourself a quick sort of shout out what you do?
Why not? So I love to stream a little bit of Rocket League. If you fancy some below mediocre plays, then that's the one you want.
You'll
also love a bit of Apex. Yeah. Clay is resident mod. So yeah, you Yeah. But it's twitch.tv/xthebriggs. I honestly couldn't tell you. I've got a schedule on there. I haven't stuck to it for about 4 weeks. I've been so busy. I haven't streamed in a little while, but I've just got Twitch affiliate, so it'll be cool. Yeah, living the dream.
Yeah, well, thanks very much for your time. I hope that was enjoyable for you as well.
Of course, always good to keep involved, which is something I haven't done for a little while. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm living the dream, and well, we'll see what happens in the upcoming games, but they're going to be close. Every single one of them is going to be close. So I'm looking forward to that.
Same as. Right, back to you guys.
Thank you, Clay, for the interview.
So, Jesus, what was your most anticipated match coming to this week?
Well, my most anticipated match up this week has to be Calculated versus Sloth Gaming. As Sloth are undefeated coming to week 2, and Calculated have been playing very well coming to the week as well. So I thought it would be a very close matchup between the two elite tier teams, but more on that later. How about you?
Well, I think my main interests were lying on Expect Diarrhea versus Seville's Army. Seville's Army have been having very lax match schedule lately, but their previous seasons provide plenty of reasons to be curious on how they will do. And Expect Diarrhea, also one of the teams on Challenge of the Year that were on the lookout list coming this season.
Thanks for that. But with all that out of the way, let's have a look at what actually happened in the broadcasting games during this week.
Our next featured matchup saw Team Ligma go against Team Carbon as part of the Season 2 Finals tournament. In Game 1, Carbon started the offensive pressure early, but Team Ligma were unfazed thanks to tight rotations on defense. A double commit from Carbon 1 minute in gave Ligma the opportunity to control the ball, and with a great passing play from Sean to Aaron, they took the first goal of the matchup. Carbon is very quick to answer, with a great offensive play by Briggs, who manages to bring the ball to the corner and gets the perfect shot over both of Ligma's defenders. With the goal left open, it Snipes out, who puts the shot in, tying the game out 1-1. Our close matchup continues, with Carbon focusing on quick offensive pressure and close rotations, whilst Ligma, more spread out, focused on a strong defense and quick counter-attacks to capitalize on Carbon's mistakes. And it's a series of those mistakes on both sides that will quickly lead to a 4-2 scoreline. First, Snipes Out, getting a bad shot off the backboard, leaves the ball to drop down in front of his own net, and Itzoshon gets the shot in. Then Itzoshon from Ligma missing a clear that leaves Snipes Out to find a very tight angle and shoots and tie the series back up. Answered very quickly by Briggs, getting a great pass to his own opponent, over his teammate Snipes Out. Aaron will take the pass and capitalizes on the mistake. Finally, it's a kick-off goal by Ligma, who start to break away from Carbon with a 2-goal lead. Carbon, keeping their rotations close, get a great 1-2 passing play and a long shot from their corner, past both of Ligma's defenders. They'll take us back to a 1-goal game, proving the predictions right. It is going to be a close matchup. Their offensive pressure, however, does not work in their favor. Snipes Out on 0 boost tries to keep the pressure up, but it's quickly answered by Ligma. He leaves Briggs alone on defense, and it's a powerful shot by Itzoshon that will secure the goal. With a 2-goal lead and 11 seconds left, it's a sure win by Ligma. Carbon will answer with a great passing play again, but it's too little too late. Ligma takes Game 1 5-4. The start of Game 2 is once again dominated by Carbon's offensive play, spending much of the first minute in Ligma's half. Technically, Carbon also gets the first goal. Unfortunately, it's against the wrong net, as they make a great passing play own goal, in part due to Ligma's offensive pressure that brought the mistake along. Ligma bring the game to the air in the second minute, leading to 2 great aerial saves by Carbon's Briggs. In the end, it's a great solo passing play by Aaron that will bring Ligma their second point on the board. Not wanting to blow a 2-0 lead, Ligma focuses more on the strong defense for the third minute of Game 2. Aaron and Sean manage to keep an offensive pressure, but very little scoring opportunities actually present themselves. Carbon, with a strong defense, ended up scoring off a blazing fast counter-attack passing play, proving once again that their passes are what consistently catches Ligma off guard. This will however be the final goal of the game, as Ligma managed to maintain the play solely on Carbon's half. Carbon seemed to keep good possession throughout the final 2 minutes, but did not get any opportunity for a good counter-attack. It's a 2-game lead by Ligma. Game 3 sees Carbon take a more defensive approach, leading the first 2 minutes to go by without any goals on either side. Some great scoring opportunities for Carbon though, including a bump attempt by Snaps out onto Aaron, who somehow still manages to get the save. The first goal came quickly after, with Carbon managing a great passing play as Snipes out wins a 50 against Sean, and Briggs undercuts Aaron to the ball. For the first time, it's Carbon that takes the early lead. Determined to make a reverse sweep happen, Carbon makes the following kickoff goal with a corner shot by Briggs and take a 2-goal lead. Ligma stay unfazed, however, and their first attack will reward them with a goal. Briggs tries to make a save, but it turns into a pass to his opponent, and it's Aaron with a powerful shot to the corner. Unfortunately for Ligma, they don't manage to mount the comeback, and 2-1 will be the final scoreline, after a couple of good opportunities and great saves on both sides. Carbon go up 1 game, and it's 2-1 Ligma. And they're not stopping there. Game 4 starts, and within the first minute, it Snipes out with a great dribbling solo play. He's getting it past both defenders, one after the other. He makes a show of force and gets the early lead for Carbon. It will take more than half the game before Ligma retaliates with an amazing shot of their own. It's Aaron with a great quick aerial shot to Carbon's near post, instantly followed up by Sean. It's a tie game once again. The next minute seems to solely play out in Ligma's half, with Carbon's tight rotations keeping Ligma on their feet. All it will take, however, will be one single long clear from Aaron to go straight into Carbon's half and into their net. The nerves seem to show in the final minute, as Ligma leave an open net and both of Carbon's attackers miss the ball. They seem to find a way to pull themselves together, however, and with this beautiful redirect play by Briggs, they found the perfect touch on the ball and even the score 2-2. The clock counts down the last 10 seconds on Carbon's half, but Ligma does not find the shot. It's overtime in Game 4. Overtime sees Ligma go back to a more defensive approach. Sean makes a good pass early, but Aaron decides not to risk it and stays back. Carbon shows nerves as their attacks get more and more scrappy. In the end, it's a huge double commit miss by Carbon that clears the road between Itzel Sean and the goal. He'll put it in and secure the series for Ligma, 3-1. Overall, it seems like Ligma's slow and defensive playstyle prevailed over Carbon's riskier, more offensive plays. A very close series indeed, as Ligma wins in 4 games, but with only a 2-goal difference over the whole series. They take 11 goals and Carbon take 9. The difference in playstyle is obvious, as Carbon posted an impressive 37 shots on net against Ligma's 23. Carbon's offensive pressure, however, seemed to be their downfall, as it leads to crucial misses by them, including the final goal in Game 4's overtime. Ligma's playstyle meant that even though they found many open nets, they refused to capitalize on them, preferring more defensive rotations. They recognized early that Carbon were prone to mistakes, and instead focused on quick counter-attacks. They end the series with a total of 25 saves, which is much higher than Carbon's 11, and really goes to show their patient and focused playstyle. Player of the match has to be Itzel Sean, who finished on top of the scoreboard for all of Ligma's 1 games. Leading not only on offense, but most importantly on defense, he's got an impressive 17 saves, or more than 4 per game on average. He's a good representation of Ligma's gameplay. He's focusing on saving shots and finding the perfect time to score. He ends the series with a 62% shot-to-goal ratio, which is an impressive statistic, especially compared with Carbon's 24%.
Okay, so just finished a hot matchup between Team Ligma and Team Carbon, and with me and Gutless now is Sean from Team Ligma. How are you doing, Sean?
Not bad. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. So, just come out of the game. What are your thoughts on that matchup? How are you feeling?
Well, obviously I'm feeling over the moon. We're into I believe the semis now, but it was very intense, very very intense. We got the first 2 games behind us, and then Carbon seemed to like capitalise on how we were playing, which then we weren't ready for, and then that's when they taken a game from us, and then taking us into overtime in the fourth game.
That's right, 4th game. Yeah. So just saying now, in game 3, as you said, Carbon adapted. How do you feel they? What do you feel like they capitalised on? Was you as a team making more mistakes, or was it just they sped it up kind of thing?
I wouldn't say it was a mistake kind of thing from our side. It was more the fact they watched how we were playing the first 2 games, which we were playing slow. We took our time because we realised there was either double committing or playing slow and waiting for us, shadow playing us. Mm-hmm. And then what it was, we was going to carry on playing that way because it was working. And then next thing you know, they're just like going for everything. If it's up in the air, they're going for it, not waiting for us to take control, which was good on their behalf.
So how do you feel you responded to that in game 4? Because I said you managed to win it in game 4 overtime, but...
Yeah, that overtime, luckily, actually, because they double committed and missed, kind of. But, I mean, we take them.
So, yeah, I said you adapted to their adaptation of your team, that sort of thing, so...
Yeah, a bit of a tongue twister, yeah. What was it? Yeah, because we realised after they took a game, like, I said to my teammate Aaron, I was like, they are capitalising on us now. They're playing fast, so we need to kind of adapt as well, change our game up, which we did. Obviously, we went 1 behind to start off with and come back, managed to take it to overtime and then take it from there.
So yeah, you just mentioned like you spoke to your teammate and I suppose whilst in the game you arranged what needed to change. And how long have you been playing with that? Do you reckon you've got a really strong chemistry? Because you two played very well, obviously, to get the win. But have you two been playing for a long time?
Well, thank you. And not really. We started, to be fair, my teammate dropped out of season 1. Or start of season 2, either one, and then Aaron left Ollie for me, snake in the grass. And then we've started playing from season 2, I think. Yeah, season 2 we started playing with each other, and to be fair, season 3 we started off solid, I think. Going into that finals game from season 2, we just played strong lately. I think a break was needed for both of us. And then we've just come back and started doing well.
As I say, it's really kind of paid off because I noticed as well Carbon had a nice, good few plays between them. So to hold Carbon back, I suppose, you played it well together.
Yeah, we had to play patient. We know they're both good at passing, and their chemistry is great, to be fair, which was what we also knew from previous games against them.
Well, funny you should mention it. Most of their I suppose better goals in the series was from passing play. So when you saw that come out, did that worry you at all, or was you like, okay, we just need to crack down on the passing lanes, or did you? How did that?
It was very hard to suss out what they was going to do because as one of us from Team Ligma had pushed up, and then it was kind of a 2-on-1 attack. It was kind of like sussing out whether they're going to fake it or pass it, and then we sussed out that they're more into the passing play. So that's when we kind of knew we need to cut that pass out as soon as possible.
Yeah, so you adapt to the game as it goes. So did you have any expectations going into the game? Or was it yeah, come on.
Well, yesterday, me and Aaron obviously had a game, which we played really exceptionally well, I think. Our chemistry was good, and hopefully continued it into this game, which we also did. But being on the losing end of Carbon before is kind of like, we want revenge. We want to kind of show that we can play top-notch players and win.
Yeah, you had that drive, more mental sort of motivation, I suppose.
Yeah, and the predictions against us.
Yeah, I'd definitely say so. I guess, did you reckon that prediction affected you at all? Like seeing that Carbon was the favourite, or did it, I suppose, again, motivate you to pull out?
Yeah, obviously they beat us before, which is a bit of a downer, and we're like, actually, these are not a team that we can like afford to make many mistakes against. But to be fair, they did like drive us, just to want to beat them even more than, and just show that we, like I said earlier, we can beat top-notch players. And
I said, you definitely managed to beat them, and it's paid off. So you're going into semi-finals or finals? Is it now in season 2?
Semi-finals were against Ollie's team with his new teammate, Carried FC.
Carried FC, yeah.
Who will be no longer with us next season.
How do you see that matchup going?
No, we're gonna sweep them easy.
Confidence is key.
Nah, hopefully that'll be a good game as well. It'll be close. It's kind of like a rival game, to be fair, because Ollie's Aaron's old teammate, and we haven't played them since the betrayal. I mean, transition. Yeah, whichever you want to call it.
Well, I wish you all the best going into that game. All right, then. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, brilliant win over Carbon, and all the best in the future games. And hopefully, we might have you back in here as season 2 champions. Who knows?
Let's hope so. I want that title.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
See ya.
Bye. Next up, we have Withindor versus Drop Table League. Coming into this match, our very young guru, Herbie, had predicted a narrow victory for Drop Table League. Withindor was coming to this matchup with a 1 win under their belt, and Drop Table League with the loss. On paper, it appeared to be an intriguing bout, so let's see how it went. The match started out with DTL pressuring on Withindor's end. They could not convert the pressure into shot, however, before Withindor were able to clear the ball out from their defensive zone. Once Withindor got the ball, they kept bouncing it high above DTL's goal before the defense gave out and Vögabomb could slide the ball in under the nose of Relic. Only 17 seconds passed before Vögabomb was added once again. Relic made an unfortunate error attempting to clear the ball out of their corner, leaving the goal undefended for an easy shot. Another 11 seconds elapsed before the horns roared again. On this kickoff, both teams cheated, but Withindor was faster on the follow-up. This allowed them to chip the ball over the remaining defender for a 3-0 lead. DTL continued being very aggressive, often pushing all the way to the opposition's goal with both players. This also led to some highly dangerous situations, where Withindor were almost given open net opportunities. At this point of the game, it started to get well established that DTL were at disadvantage whenever the ball left the ground. And to demonstrate this, Old Time Gentlemen scored their 4th goal in the game with 3:21 remaining. Saint Ashlar made a bit of a careless catch, just after resupplying his boost, flicking the ball in the air for Withindor to catch. Withindor continued to press on the offense, while DTL was forced on the back foot and got their goal. There was another very dangerous opportunity for Withindor, where Vögabomb had launched a ball high up from the back wall, and even managed to get a few bump plays going. Old Time Gentleman couldn't quite cinch the shot from the tight angle, giving DTL some much needed breathing room. Shortly after, it was Withindor once again with 2 versus 1 attack. There was, however, an apparent miscommunication or some other mishap, as Withindor players bumped into each other on rotation. DTL, however, could not find the valve to release the pressure, as most of their attempts led to blind clearances of the side walls, which more often than not ended up in Withindor's possession. All was not lost, however, and DTL managed to find some success off a corner play by St. Ashlar, which resulted in a ball bouncing in front of Gryffindor's net. Relic used this opportunity to launch the ball towards the net, but not without first hitting Vöggebom, St. Ashlar, and Old Time Gentleman, who ended up own goaling. Things seemed to calm down as DTL finally established themselves in this match, but in the end, it was only another 30 seconds until DTL missed a relatively easy save in front of the net, giving Gryffindor their 5th goal. DTL once again stood their ground, and St. Ashlar made his way towards Gryffindor's net. Once again the play started off from the corner. He got a bit of a lucky bounce which caused the ball to steer away from the back wall, making it harder to clear. Vöggebom attempted to aerial it out of the harm's way, but Relic managed to find the opening and rang the clock between the two defenders. 5-2 for Gryffindor, with 40 seconds remaining. With all that, the play went back to its usual route. Gryffindor pressured, DTL attempted to clear 2 side walls but with little success. Vöggebom sent the ball flying alongside the corner and back wall towards the net. St. Ashlar missed his back wall clear, which meant it was a race to the ball for each side. As both Old Time Gentleman and Relic missed their attempts, Vöggebom was left with an open net to score on. Now Gryffindor just poured on the aggression with both players, quickly accumulating their 7th goal, with 20 seconds remaining in the round. This very eventful game ended with 7-2 scoreline for Gryffindor, leaving the series score at 1-0 for the aforementioned team. The second round started off in unfortunate circumstances for DTL. Old Time Gentleman sent the ball flying towards the back wall and missed just clear from St. Ashlar and the ball careening towards the net. 1-0 for Gryffindor. Second game followed very closely the first one's footsteps. High-scoring game with many unfortunate defensive blunders. When was non-misses or double commits on DTL's side, it was Gryffindor just plain outplaying their foes, showing off the speed advantage and aerial dominance on multiple points. All this led to Game 2, having a scoreline of 6-1 for Gryffindor, and they were now in the lead of series with 2-0. Game number 3 was constructed with the same blueprint as the previous 2 games. Gryffindor dictated pace, while DTL did their best to try and hang on, and they showed some signs of warming up as well. The bumps and double commitments were not quite as common this game as they were in previous ones, but that, however, was not enough to deter the scoreline from following the second game's line to the teat. 6-1 for Gryffindor on a fireworks display. And with that, Gryffindor also took the series 3-0.
Hi, so with me is Gutbuster and a player who we've just seen the game from, Old Time Gentleman, who's part of Team Gryffindor.
Yeah, hello.
There we go. So we've just grabbed you after finishing a match against Drop Table League. First of all, what would you say your initial reaction is coming out of that game?
I mean, pretty surprised, to be honest. Like, we knew our kind of game was working because it's the third game we play and the third game we win. But, you know, we were predicted to lose at the start of the game, so I was kind of nervous what the other team might be like, but I think it went swimmingly. I don't know what you think about it.
I mean, we definitely saw Gryffindor at least capitalize on any opportunities you was given. You always seemed to be quick to the ball whenever it was kind of sent your way. And even with some of the challenges, you seem to, as a team, you was quite on it quite quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we made a lot of mistakes, tons of misses from us, but I think we were much better at capitalizing on it than they were on capitalizing on what we would have done.
Yes, and as well as being much more aggressive, much more, much faster in general than the opponents this time.
Yeah, because we saw last match against Mami Harambe that it really worked. Just kind of keep the pressure on, keep being aggressive, and then wait for them to make a mistake. So we just played the same game and got even better results.
I mean, definitely. So you went 3 games. So game 1 was 7-2 to you, and then game 2 and 3 both went 6-1. So definitely high-scoring
Yeah.
games on your team's part.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But just to talk about the goals you conceded, do you reckon, is there anything come to mind? Do you feel like that was from your, as a team mistake, or like do you just feel like DTL outplayed you in a sense?
I think we made a ton of mistakes that they could have capitalized on, and it's almost like a miracle that we didn't get scored on more. I think most of the goals we got was out of both me and Verga being super aggressive on defense, going to the corner, double committing on defense, and that's what happened. You know, you leave open nets and you get scored on. I think that's what most of the goals were.
Yeah, I was gonna say you was aggressive on almost all parts of the field. Well, it did pay off in your favor, especially against DTL, who seemed to be slower to react to those. But yeah, you always tend to leave whenever you're too aggressive. There was that defensive kind of compromise.
Exactly. When you're an aggressive team, that's the kind of like a drawback you have to take. It's just like we're going to score a lot, but we're also going to get scored on a lot. And I think all three of the matches we played really showed that.
Yeah, and like I said, you came on top well, so the aggressive play style did go in your favor.
Yeah.
Just I suppose a bit of question about you and your teammate Vergabon. How long have you two been playing together? Was you friends beforehand coming to the league, or?
No, well, we both joined like on our own, and we joined about at the same time. At the time, I was gold 3, he was plat 1, and so we got matched together. But I think it was just a great matchup. We haven't been playing much together since, but I think our play styles just kind of work because we have the same visions on rotations. So we tend to play really well together.
I thought it was definitely a good matchup when that happens. Like I said, you play styles complement each other
definitely.
and how you approach a game, I suppose.
Yeah.
And you touched on it a bit earlier as well, saying what were your initial expectations going into the game? Because as we saw within the league, there was a prediction against you to lose that matchup.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we didn't get much time to, and there isn't much to go on as to what their performance might be. All we knew is that they lost very narrowly to Frühstücken, which we beat in pre-league. So we thought we'd have the upper hand, we didn't know by how much. And I think as soon as the game started, we scored 2 very free kickoff goals. And that's when I think it really set the tone for the rest of the match.
Yeah, I was going to say, definitely there was a couple of kickoff goals, which I think kind of emphasised the aggression on kickoff from your team there. But just a quick little side note, you did very well in pronouncing Frühstücken's name. It was a bit of an inside joke between me and Guts of how badly we can pronounce it, but you did well now.
Cheers, yeah.
Gutbust, have you got any pressing questions?
I think we talked about most of the issues we wanted to hear about. But was there anything in particular about Drop Table League, about their playstyle, anything that caught you off by surprise?
Not really. I mean, we just played our game and just kind of went. Just as soon as we saw that we were winning, we're like, let's just not change anything. So unlike like last match against Mami Harambe, where we had to kind of think, okay, what's working, what's not working, I think with Drop Table League, it just went swimmingly. So we just kind of keep playing your game, don't really ask too much questions, and just watch the balls roll in, I guess.
Did you have any specific game plan coming into the match?
Yeah, just repeat what we did yesterday against Mami Harambe. Just be aggressive, keep working on rotations, and Vergabomb is a very good. We've both evolved since we started the league, but I'm now plat 2 and he's diamond 2, so there's quite a big gap between us. So I think the goal is very much like I tend to pass, he tends to score. I don't know if you've noticed, but there were so many open nets missed by me this whole match. So I think the plan really is to just let him go on offense, and I'll just work the defense.
So how do you feel about your chances against the other top two teams in your tier, Not4 and Frühstücken, which are yeah, you haven't faced either one of them yet, so.
We've faced Frühstücken in pre-league,
Yes,
and we won in game 5. And then since apparently they've really upped their game, so I'll be interested to see how it goes. Not4, I haven't seen much from them yet. All I know is that in goal differential before today, they were in front of us. So I think it'll be an interesting matchup for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting statistics from the first game they played against Dinos Bar and Grill. They scored 17 goals and only got 1 scored against them. So
that's
pretty
crazy.
Scary number.
Yeah, that's crazy. But it'll be fun to play against them for sure.
So how do you feel about your chances about getting promoted to the next tier after season?
Well, that's definitely the goal for us. I think we definitely have what it takes. Not only right now because we're quite good now, but we're also because we're both evolving as players, and hopefully by the time promotion comes, we'll be just at that next step. And I'm hoping that the matches that we can bring to the league in this tier, we can prove that we're worthy of getting promoted. I think.
Well, that's definitely that really is nice to hear from your team. Like I say, you've got that desire to move ahead and do the best to compete within your tier.
Yeah, definitely.
But I believe. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, and it's especially nice because we have been talking before about how it's nice to track the success of teams that were pre-formed before they joined the league and the leagues that have been formed within the league from the default teammates. So it's always nice to see people finding success with the teammates they found through the league. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better teammate, I think. So it's good to see how you can just match two people together and it just kind of works.
Yeah, definitely. I said it's nice to see that within the league, and it's very great for you that that's worked in your favor. So. Yeah. But is that everything we've got to ask us?
Yeah, I think that's a good place to end.
To leave it.
Right, so thanks very much for joining us, old-time gentlemen, and wish you all the best in your coming up games.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Calculated versus Sloth Gaming, and early mistakes from Sloth meant Calculated scored quickly, but a booming clear was all that was needed to equalise. However, Calculated turned up the heat as both members becoming increasingly aggressive, and as pressure caused poor touches and decision-making, Calculated win Game 1 6-2. A more neutral start in Game 2, as the first goal is scored at the 3:20 mark by Sloth Gaming from a counter-attack. With momentum in Sloth's favour, as good challenges and high aerial shots lead to 2 more goals. Gutbuster manages a consolation goal, settling the score at 3-1. Both teams adapting in Game 3 leads to a toe-to-toe gameplay as score climbs up to 3-all, where a 54-second overtime is ended by a defensive blunder from Calculated, leaving an open net capitalised on by Sloth Gaming. Early pressure from Sloth as they look to finish the series in game number 4. However, a solo play across field from Gutbuster lands Calculated with the lead. Fifter then scores from a high pass to make it 2-0. After a challenge from Sloth at midfield, Bram starts to claw back, making it 2-1. A very reserved performance from both teams in the next 3 minutes, but one last-second goal leads to Calculated winning Game 4 3-1 and tying up the series 2-all. In Game 5, the first goal coming at the 3-minute mark as a dribble from Gutbuster with added pressure leads to a pass to Fifter, where he gets a score on an open net. Very equal in terms of opportunities for both teams. Sloth Gaming attempting passes as well as dribbles, but calculated defence holding on. In the closing seconds, Gut seals Sloth's fate with a self-pass shot on target that is too quick for Sloth players to save, ending the game at 2-0. Calculated winning the match 3-2 against Sloth Gaming. And that was all the featured matchups for this week.
Jesus, would you like to cover the other matches that happened on the week too?
Yeah, so starting off in Foundation Tier, 2 games played this week, both containing Gryffindor, who coincidentally won both their games, sweeping Drop Table League in 3 games and beating Mami Harambe 3 games to 1. Development Tier now, Titanium winning against No Regards in a very close 5-game series, as well as closing out Peaky Blinders 3 games to 1. Canard Esports also beating Peaky Blinders, but in a more convincing fashion of 3 games to 0. Up to Challenger Tier, and 4 matches played this week, with AZA beating both their opponents, Expect Diarrhea and Break, 3 games to 2 and 3 games to 0 respectively. Break also being swept by Ligma, 3 games to 0, but last but not least, Team Rocket winning against Carbon 3 games 2, so a lot of sweeps in Challenger Tier. Elite Tier, Elite Tier, oh my god. Lastly, most active tier this week with 5 matches. 2 lots of 3-game sweeps with calculated beating SDF ERLKGUJH, or they as their abbreviation, and Worthy Lads, sweeping the other way. Boats and Hoes met a challenge facing Dumps and Bemos, but Boats and Hoes won in game number 5. SDF ERLKGUJH lost their second match against Flip Flop Tic Tacs, and lastly, Calculated beating out Sloth Gaming. Back to you, Gutbuster.
And in case you are interested in joining the Rocket Recap staff, please send a message my way. Editors, graphic designers, analysts, and all-around good people are always in short supply. And if Rocket Recap is not your thing, Rocket Sundays is looking for more volunteers for streaming and casting positions. Give a shout in casting and streaming channel. We will gladly help you get started. And on that note, we would also like to welcome our newest addition to the casting booth, Old Time Gentleman.
Moving on, here are the league standings after the second week. Also, for next week, here are the planned fixtures, and below that, you will be able to see all the games that have been scheduled so far.
If you would like to have the chance of being featured on footage in the show, please do remember to submit your replays to Rocket Recap staff.
And be sure to follow us as Rocket Sundays on both Twitch and YouTube.
And with all that being said, we wish you all a pleasant evening and hope to see you next time.
Bye!